What's up, YouTube? It is your bro, DrDroo. I'm going to talk to you today, not really that much about NAT testing or preparing, because anything I tell you about preparing for NAT, anytime I've ever had a decent amount of success, it's always been the same techniques you approach every event with, which is you play test a bunch, you know every matchup, and you have something strong that can give you an edge over everyone else playing the same deck as you. Even if it's the deck you're playing, which might not be the same as everyone else, it has an edge because it's a prize deck or whatever. But I'm not going to go into that today. Today I'm going to do something that's a little bit more general and more relevant to, like, everyone going to NAT, even the people who are just going to enjoy the trip and the traveling with friends and stuff. And that is how to keep your stuff from getting stolen. Because I have gotten my stuff stolen quite a few times. I've been on a really long streak recently of not getting it stolen because I've learned from my mistakes, and hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes as well. I'm going to go over the times I've gotten major stuff stolen and what I could have done to prevent it, and then what you can do to prevent it. Yeah, the first thing, the easiest way I could have kept my stuff from getting stolen the first time was at a similar, it was actually 2 days after the same event, which is really a bummer, but the first time it was at YTS Galaxy, not this year, but last year, 2011, and I had just made a big trade for a binder. I traded like DrDroo items for the full binder and had a bunch of good stuff in it. And instead of just trading out of the other binder I brought, I thought, why don't I go ahead and trade with 2 binders? That's double the trading. And I was a mistake, obviously. And most of you already know this, but you never trade with 2 binders. Not at the same time, at least. If you do that, there's no way to really keep track of them because you have like multiple people with multiple binders. You're trying to make a good trade. You're trying to watch your stuff while going through their stuff. You're making conversation. Someone takes your attention for a second and someone walks off with one of them. So that's rule number 1. You always trade with 1 binder. And that's an easy one, but that's one I didn't follow because I thought I was smart enough to handle it, and I didn't. So yeah. The second thing that happened at the exact same event was that another person I had traded another big, kind of another big deal where I took out their whole binder, but they wanted to keep the physical binder. So I stripped every card out, took it into a stack, put it in a deck box in my bag, and thought, that's a lot of good stuff I just traded for. I should trade out of that as well as my binder. So I traded my binder. At this point, I already had the other binder stolen, so I was smart enough to not trade out 2 binders, put this binder away, pulled out the deck box of cards. I think was in the process of sorting that stack of cards into this binder when someone had walked up and wanted to go through it. Now, I didn't want to turn down a trade, so I put this binder away and I had them look through the stack of cards. The problem is, whenever you trade out of a stack of cards, and I think I have one here for demonstration somewhere. Yeah, there you are. Whenever you trade out of a stack of cards like this, let's say you're trading out of this stack of cards, someone's really interested in your skull bracket. Whenever you do that, they're going through these cards, and it's really easy to just do that. Drop 1 out into your lap. Boom. Boom. And they drop a couple cards into their lap. They stand up. They drop on the floor. They pick up their bag and pick up the cards at the same time. And you don't even know the stuff got stolen because it's not in a binder. At least in a binder, you got some sort of organization. Some of the stuff, you'll notice a missing spot or slot in your binder. But you're not going to notice a missing card in the stack of cards because there's no rhyme, reason, organization, anything to it. So you should never, ever, ever trade out of a regular stack of cards like this. Okay? By doing that, I ended up losing it. Somehow I noticed the cards that were missing, and now nothing I could do about it. The cards were gone. So that would be the next rule of how I got my stuff stolen. The third time I got my stuff stolen was because I went and I sat down, and this is based on habit. I'm going to tell you some ways to develop good habits. So what I had done was I had my bag, and I had my binder in it. And so I was like, hey, I want to trade. So we go and sit down at the table. I pull the binder out, put it on the table, put my bag down. And right as I do that, Judge says, hey, you guys can't trade here. So, okay. He's got a binder out already that I was looking through, and I've got kind of stuff, cards out and stuff. So I'm just like staring at him, like, okay, we'll go. I walk over to the other table, walk back, and this bag is gone. That's how fast it goes. It goes in a couple seconds. And that's what I get for not following my habit, which is, if this bag is going to stay in the same spot basically the whole day. If your bag is on your right arm with all zippers and stuff, then it doesn't leave your right arm except when you sit down to play. Okay, and I'll even tell you how even when you sit down to play, you're going to follow the habit. If it's on both arms, it stays on both arms the whole day. And that binder you're trading out of never goes in the bag except when you sit down to play in your tournament. The binder you're holding onto, it's always in your hand, and your brain will kind of remember the feeling of having bag on back with a certain weight, binder going out to friends or trades or whatever. When you sit down to play, it's the only time the bag comes off your back, and you're going to follow a routine with that. Bag comes off, binder goes in, your deck comes out. Okay? And then that way, the only time the binder's ever not in your hand is when you're sitting down playing. And then when you stop with that, game's over, binder and bag, deck and bag, binder comes out, bag goes back on your arms, and the whole day this bag doesn't come off your arm unless you're sitting on the play. If you sit down to trade, then this thing goes into your lap. Okay, this thing shouldn't touch the floor unless you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you are playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's one of the easiest places for your stuff to get going is while you're playing. In fact, that's the most common way, is you put your bag on the floor, and you're playing, and someone sits next to you and kicks it out, and someone just walks by and grabs it, and you're done. So you put one of your real legs through the arm, or you put your chair leg through the arm with the backpack. That way, someone tries to kick it out, it's going to get caught on your leg with the chair leg, and maybe you'll even catch the thief. But yeah, if this thing's on the ground, there's a leg in the arm. You know what I mean? You're pulling crazy sex moves with legs and arms, okay? If you're not pulling crazy sex moves, you're getting your stuff stolen. That's the motto for the day. The second thing is, this is another common tactic that people will do, is you'll be standing waiting for your pairing, and while you're doing that, someone is digging through your bag and pulling that deck box out. Because there's so many people crowded around, there's no way to possibly steal someone. You might steal someone digging through your bag, but there's a good chance they could pull something out. And I've heard many stories about that happening. So, the easiest solution to that is when you go to check your pairing, your bag's right here. You got your pairing, arm right there, arm goes back right where it went. You follow the same habits so that you don't even have to think about it. Your brain should just do it on autopilot. So yeah, if your bag's right here, nobody's digging in, putting hands into your bag. The best they can do is put hands on your ass, and then everybody wins. Okay? So yeah, the last way that people get your stuff stolen is literally just taking your binder and running with it. And the easiest way to avoid that is, for one, you don't go outside the venue to do any transaction. If you want to, do some buying and selling and you don't want to get caught, then that means you can leave the room. You got to pick a spot with a corner in it so they can't just take off running. But you don't leave the venue. You don't do anything where you can feel the sun or the moon or the stars or the sunlight or the love. You don't feel any of that, okay? All you feel is harsh fluorescent lighting with the smell of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Because there's no reason to let people run off with your binder. And if you're outside, it's not hard to grab your binder, throw it over a balcony with someone underneath, or to run to a car and jump in. And people will do that. It sounds extreme, but this is $2,000 for a lot of you guys. This is probably the most money that a lot of people have ever had in their life collected into one place. And it's not hard to come back up the next day and go up to gaming, UTC, and Game Time, and go up to these guys. Game Time will always have the best prices. You probably go to them if you stole a binder. But you go up to Game Time and you're like, here, give me a price in this binder. And Big Chris says, whoa, sure, laddie. And he buys the binder, and your binder's gone, and someone else has all your money. So, whenever you're going to do a trade with someone, especially while you're standing, or even if you're about to sit down, you better make sure they're not sitting on a side where they can just pick up your stuff and run. And if they have your binder in their hand, you should have your binder in their hand. Their binder in your hand. Okay? Another common way, and this is something that Wilson Sang put in this video, and I thought it was really smart, is that, with some of these cards, especially your valuable ones, put a sleeve in behind your actual card in the binder. That way, if someone tries to pull it out without you knowing, all they're going to do is catch a piece of sleeve. These don't have any in it because I don't follow my own advice. But that's because I have nothing valuable in my binder, so I'm gravy. But no, the point really, when you go to an event, and I do this for my more valuable cards, underneath the card, I'm going to put a sleeve. Because if someone's talking to you and trying to pull a card out without you noticing, they're just going to catch the sleeve, which is going to slide out really easily. And you might even catch them with a sleeve in their fingers. Thanks to Wilson Sang for that tip. Yeah. So that's basically, those are the ways that I've seen either myself or my friends at home. One last thing. It's been a long day of trading and playing. You haven't gotten your stuff stolen. And no one's eaten. Well, we're going to Chili's. We have a reservation at Chili's, and you are over 21, and you're going to order yourself a, what do those things called? A mojito. You're ordering a strawberry blackberry mojito with a big fat umbrella in it. And after you've had a couple too many mojitos, and you've had your meal, and you're relaxed, you sat there for hours talking with your friend, your bag hasn't been on your back, so your brain kind of resets and needing something on it. It's really easy to leave a bag like that at the restaurant. And if the next order of customers behind you plays Yu-Gi-Oh, well, then they just hit the lottery. So, if you're going to go out and you're going to drink, either the bag stays in your lap or it stays at home. It's probably better at home, at the hotel, of course. Because the Yu-Gi-Oh and drinking only mix when you're naked. If you're not naked, then Yu-Gi-Oh and drinking, they don't mix, you're going to get your stuff stolen, okay? In that case, again, crazy sex technique that keeps your stuff from getting stolen. Anyway, if you're going to nationals, the best thing I can tell you honestly is the habit thing. The habit thing is the one thing that I never hear from anyone. It's something I follow. And since I've really kept the habit of like binder in hand, bag on back, sit on the play, deck out, binder in. Game's over, deck goes in, binder comes out. And then it gets you trading sooner too, so you make more use of your time in between them. But yeah, follow habits. That bag should be almost the same weight the whole weekend. And it should be a weight, like that way you can feel, hey, this feels light. Hey, there should be something else in here or whatever. I don't know. Follow habits when holding your bag. That's it for me. My dog is barking outside because he's pissed. Probably got his Yu-Gi-Oh stuff stolen. That's DrDroo signing out. Good luck at Nats if I don't make another video. If you see me there, come give me a big fat hug. And I promise it won't be gay. And if you're a girl, it might be. Signing out.